My name is Kate Sorensen. I'm a math teacher at Madison High School, and it was my first year here 5 years ago when I had this young man in my Algebra 2 class. And you might say, well, that seems pretty normal. In fact, it was not normal. Connor was in 8th grade taking Algebra 2 surrounded by a bunch of juniors. And believe it or not, he was probably the best student in that class as well. And sometimes when you have a younger student in a room with a lot of older students, they don't know how to handle themselves maturity-wise, but Connor was just the opposite. He was loved by everyone, he was humble, he was hardworking, he was curious, and he stayed that way his entire high school career. It has been an absolute honor teaching him all the way up to calculus. Things come pretty easy to him in math, and he loves math, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't work the hardest he can to be spectacular at it. So I'm very proud of this young man. I am positive that he will achieve anything that he sets his mind to. So please join me in welcoming Connor Clausen to the stage.
Thank you very much. So this is the concluding chapter of my story in high school. So I'm glad you all were able to come out and watch this final chapter to my book. So before I go on showing pictures of my accomplishments, these next pictures are mostly sports. And that's because sports have played a huge part in my life. And they've been with me my entire time through my high school career. So this first sport I want to show is football. Football was a little different this year. I had never played football before. And this year, I decided to join it. And the reason being was I went to WVC for running start. I didn't get to see a lot of my friends. I was stuck at home, kind of on my own court. So I decided to join football and spend time with a lot of my friends. I didn't expect much out of it, but I ended up starting on every single team there. So I certainly got my fill of football, and I was so happy to hang out with all my friends. Baseball has also been a huge part of me. I've been with baseball since 6th grade as a manager. And going from 6th grade all the way to my senior year, as a 6th grader, I looked up to all the captains on the team, all the seniors, and I looked at them and said, those are what I have to become to show the future, what needs to be done. And so I started out pretty good. I started playing games my 8th grade year, and I was able to DH or hit for most of the games. And from there on, I kind of took a downhill turn, unfortunately. So my freshman year, I broke one of my fingers, which, as a baseball player, it's not something you really want to do. I was unable to throw the ball, but I ended up learning how to catch and throw with my left hand, and I was able to play a couple games that year. The next year, I remember getting on the bus and about to go to our first game when our athletic director, Mr. Severson, came on and told us that our season was going to be canceled, which was just terrible, and I felt so bad for all the seniors who weren't going to have a senior season next year. My junior year, it was a shortened season. I still loved baseball. We got a couple games in which I was happy for. And for my senior season, I had a great year. All the young kids were doing great this year, and I look forward to seeing what they become in the next 2 years. Cross country was a big part of my family. I had a great bond with every one of these guys on the team. For every mile you run, you build a connection with these guys. And I ran thousands of miles with each of them, and running in those races and being in the same situation was just amazing and incredible to share with these guys. They were like brothers to me, and I could ask them for anything. For my leadership, I go back to baseball. And this year, I had the opportunity, as well as last year, to be a captain for the team. And it's a great perspective to go from being that 6th grader who's looking up to the captains to being that captain. And now have all these younger kids looking up at me and expecting me to know what to do. And I tried to fill that role as best I could, and I hope all those younger kids were able to see what they needed to do in order to become a good baseball player and a good person. I also took up snowboarding instructor this year, which was an incredible experience because I was able to teach people from ages 4 all the way to 50 how to snowboard. And it was a different experience with each of them. I would have thought that the younger kids were going to learn quicker because they had fresh minds, they wanted to get out and be active. Well, as soon as they fell on the ground, they would sit there and they decided to just eat snow rather than get back up. Now, after that, I would expect, oh, well, maybe it's going to be the older people who are going to get along with better. I get to those lessons, and when they fell down, they were done for the day. That too much. They didn't quite like that. But at the end of the day, I was able to teach so many people something that I enjoy myself, and to be able to do it safely, which is super important. And I was glad to have the experience. My highlights of my senior and high school career have been college classes. I've taken numerous college classes, and from my freshman to junior year, I did classes from UW, Eastern, and COU. And these are all great classes. I had great teachers telling me exactly what I needed to do, and it was a really good warm-up for what was to come. So the senior year, like I said, I did Wenatchee Valley College, and I took even more credits there, and I just applied for my AA to graduate from that OPA, which I thought was incredible. So in total, I had about 110 college credits, which is 22 different college classes, which was just incredible, and I had fun in each one. That leads to my future. So I'm going to go to the UW and major in philosophy, where I then hope to become a paralegal after school, and then go into law school and become an attorney myself. Not quite sure what attorney I want to become yet, but I know that that future is there for me. I'm excited to get there. As for my legacy, it continues with my leadership. And I just want to show all these younger kids that you can balance social life, school life, athletics, and be happy during your high school career. So I want to show people that you can do anything. Do anything, try everything, have fun while you're a senior. Here is a short video I have. I apologize for this.
Go right to YouTube.
Where is that? Oh,
You better find the time to see through your vocation. I wanna see the world as if I'm on vacation. And if you need some time, just close your eyes. Calm it down when I'm saying goodbye. I've been waiting and wondering how I could be so blind, so blind. There were shadows and warning signs, but I just pulled the wool up over my eyes. Tell me that I'm gonna be okay. Tell me that it's gonna find a way. Tell me that it's fun and goes away. Tell me that it's fun and goes away. Tell me that I'm gonna be alright. Tell me that we're gonna find a way. Tell me that it's fun and goes away. Tell me that it's fun and goes away.
I have numerous amounts of people to be thankful for, and I'm so glad that they were able to join me on this journey. Unfortunately, I couldn't capture as many people that I'm thankful for in that one video. Specifically, I'd like to thank my family. The people that I look up to was thankfully extremely close to me my entire life. So my sister, she's been my inspiration and role model my whole life. She's kind of been like my mind bird, going in, testing out the waters for me, and making sure it's safe, and then telling me what to do it better. And I'm so thankful that she was able to teach me all the life lessons that she learned and how I should approach it. My dad was able to teach me to be an everyman. He was able to do anything that we'd ask him to. Anything around the house, if it was electrical, on the cars, anything important, he was always there. And he taught me that you can do it yourself, and you don't need to ask everybody to do something for you. My mom, so thankful for her, because every time I needed help with something, she would encourage me to take it at my own pace. And no matter what I did or what I said, she always said it was the right thing to do, because she knew that learning from experience is the best way to learn, and she was certainly there for me. So in general, I really just want to thank this valley, because this valley has generated so many beautiful memories for me, and I'm going to take them with me into my next step in that next chapter. Thank you very much for coming.